Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever time of day it may be for you. I'm the Layback Gamer, and I'm back with another review. This time I am doing the triple class cards, which shouldn't be very long. Before we get started on the actual triple class cards, we need to go ahead and look up 5 other cards that I've been holding off on. So, I'm going to start off with the Dagoth Oathman, a 3-mana Ash creature, 3/3, summon. If you have a Agility card in play, +1/+1, and Intelligence card in play, +1/+1. Now, there are a few different ways to activate this. Some of the ways I've activated in the past is Queen Baronzaya or Salvarus Agent. I think that's the card name. And that's the easiest way to activate them. You play one of those 2 cards, then you play Dagoth Oathman, and you're good to go. Or you just have 2 different cards out on the field, one agility, one intelligence. If it's the common theme with all the Oathmen is that they all fit the deck that they're trying to go with. This card, if you have both the conditions in play, it's now a 5/5 and acts as a trigger device. However, it's good to play it on its own. You can play it as a 3-mana 3/3, and it would still be okay. You could play it as a 3-mana 4/4, and it'd be fine. Obviously, you want to try to get the 3-mana 5/5 on the field, but for stats and the effects, it's really good. It's one of the better Oathman, and I run it all the time. Next we have Tribunal Oathman, 4-mana Dark Elf, almost said Dunmer. 3/3, summon. If you have Willpower in play, you gain 4 health. And Endurance card in play, gain +1 Magicka. The 4 health to allow you to survive a little extra longer. And in the +1 Magicka so that you can get your God cards out a turn sooner. Does everything that you need it to do. However, this one is a little more... Because it costs 1 more, you're going to want to try to see if you can get the ability to activate. And it's not too hard to get it to activate. Actually, I take that back. It is a little harder to get Tribunal Oathman to activate, but if you can get at least one of the effects, it pays off. If you get no effects, however, I don't think it's that worth it. You definitely... This is one of the Oathmen that you want to get at least one effect for. Dagoth Oathman, you can afford not to get a trigger off of it, but this, you need to get an activation, otherwise you're little SOL, and it's quite unfortunate. Then we move on to Halahu Oathman, 3-mana 2/2, summon. If you have Agility in play, gain 3 Magicka this turn, or Strength in play, draw a card. Now, I know the 3, it's -1/-1 from Tribunal and Dagoth Oathman. However, you have the opportunity to potentially play this for free. Because if you have an Agility card in play, it's a free card, essentially. You're getting it for free. If you're playing Morong Tong Halahu, chances are you're likely going to have Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary in play, and therefore you gain the 3 Magicka. So you get this for free, and if you have a Strength, it's easy to get a Strength card. All you have to do is just hold on to 1 Nord Firebrand, play Halahu Oathman with the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary on the field, and now you get a card and 3 extra Magicka. This, in my opinion, is the easiest one to activate, and if you get the effects off, it is the best one to have. I believe it is the best. Halahu Oathman is the best one. Whenever you can play something that's hit for free, always good. Always good. Then we move on to Telvanni Oathman. 5-mana Dark Elf, 4/4, summon. If you have an Intelligence card in play, draw a random action from your deck. Endurance card in play, summon a Risen Dead in each lane. I'm sorry, before I continue, I'm going to quickly go back to Halahu Oathman. It does exactly what you want. You get the free... You play it for 3, and you get both effects activated. You get all 3 of that Magicka back, and you draw a card, potentially drawing a plot card. So this card is very good with the plot mechanic. Just like Tribunal was very good to get the gods out as quickly as you can, Dagoth was good to get the... Or even Tribunal is also good to get your Exalt creatures able to Exalt. Or whereas if you didn't play it, maybe you'd be one Magicka short. Now you have Magicka. And Dagoth, again, like I said, if you get both activated, you go to Fought, it's a 5/5, triggers off all your Dagoth cards. Telvanni Oathman does the exact same as the class does. You're allowed to pick an action up, which likely may have Betray, and the Risen Dead are the targets you use Betray on, because they're 1/1s, they're free. This one, it's a little more expensive than the other ones, but you get +1/+1. I think you could play this and not really have to worry too much. I think this is this is another one that you could play it as a 4/4. You're losing out on the effects, yeah, which sucks, but if you need it, it's one of those cards you can play out on turn 5, and it would not be half bad. So I think it's good. It's good. I also forgot to mention Halahu Oathman, Haunted House. Haunted House triggers Halahu Oathman. Forgot about that. Lastly, we have Redoran Oathman, 4 mana Dark Elf, 3/3, similar to our Tribunal guy. If you have a Willpower card in play, double Redoran Oathman's health. Strength card in play, double Redoran Oathman's power. Now, I have tried to play Redoran Oathman in the past. I really tried, and I couldn't get it to activate. Not very often, at least. I'm sure if... most of the times where I tried to get it to activate, I would often go Rift Thane on turn 2, hope it survives a turn, and then turn 3, Ring of Magicka, Redoran Oathman, I get a 4 mana 6/6. This card, if you get both effects, is the second best out of all the Oathmen, and if you don't, it's the worst. It's on in par with Tribunal Oathman. Tied for 4th if you don't get the abilities activated. With Halahu, you're getting 2/2 for 3. Dagoth gets you the best value, 3 mana, 3/3. And Telvanni comes in second with a 5 mana 4/4. But this and Tribunal, if you don't get the effects off, definitely like the bottom of all the Oathmen. So you want to make sure you get those effects off. And if you get this one off, it's the second best. I think the Telvanni Oathman, if you get the effects off... No, not Telvanni. What am I saying? Halahu Oathman, if you get both of those effects off, it's the best. Followed by Redoran Oathman. Then I'd say I'm stuck between Dagoth and Telvanni, so I'll put them as third, and then Tribunal. Now that we're done with the Oathman, and we're officially done all of the other cards, we can now move on to Hand of Dagoth. Dagoth creature, 5 mana Ash creature for the Dagoth deck, 5/5, Breakthrough, Drain, Ward. Let's see here. Hold on, what do I got in my notes? Here we go. People will try to remove this. Hands down. They will attempt to their best to remove it. If they can't, which it sucks, because essentially you just wasted 5 Magicka. But if they don't remove it, if they just leave it on the field for you, this becomes a very, very threatening card. And that's essentially what it is. It's very... I think it's slightly better than the... what's it called? It's a 5 mana card. It's a promotional, also double class. It's the Sower of Revenge. It's a different flavor of it. This deals 5 damage to your opponent if it dies, but it has guard, so you have to attack it. Whereas this will give you 5 health, and if you attack your opponent, you're essentially dealing the 5 damage. You're gaining the 5. It's about a net of... In terms of health, you're essentially... who gain 10 health. You're now 10 health up on your opponent if you went face. It's kind of I think I compare it to that because both of them are very threatening. They have, I would say, perhaps equal amount of threat. If you see a Hand of Dagoth on the field, your mind goes, I have to get rid of this card immediately. You see a Solver of Revenge on the field, your mind, you go, I need to silence this or remove or banish it from play. And you kind of have similar thought process for Hand of Dagoth, except you can remove it without any negative penalties being incurred to you. So it's a good card if you can get an attack off. The ward will keep it alive against lethal creatures, which very good. Then we go to Ascended Sleeper. Dagoth, another Dagoth card, 6 mana Ash creature, 3/6 guard. At the end of your turn, if you have a creature with 5 power or more, reduce the cost of all creatures in your hand by 1. It's a good guard creature. I've played it just as a guard on turn 6 if I need it. It does its job well and guards it. Also, the animation is epic. I'm just gonna throw that out right now. It is epic. Oh, excuse me. But it gets even better if you manage to have a creature that's 5 health, that has 5 attack or more. Because now all your creatures in your hand cost 1 less. And the more creatures you have in your hand, the better off. I had a hand about 9 creatures at one point, and played Ascended Sleeper, had an Ash Berserker, or not Ash Berserker, Servant of Dagoth that had been activated, so it was a 6/6 with guard. Then combined with the 3/6 with guard and the effect, basically sliced 9 magicka total off of all the cards in my hand. 9 magicka. It was crazy. It was crazy. So it's amazing. It's an amazing card if you can get the effect off. Its only downside is it's a house-specific card. But I think that's great. I think it's great that it's in only one house, because if you made it, say, just a strength-only card, people would just not play any other attribute and would just go to strength because of this one card. It is very powerful. Next up, we have the Dagoth Legendary, which is Dagoth himself. 12 mana God, 8/8. Breakthrough charge, drain, guard, lethal ward. Basically, almost every keyword in the game except for rally. It's a great finisher card. And it's one of those cards where if you see your opponent going Dagoth, playing Dagoth deck, your mind immediately thinks, I have to play again. I'm pretty sure I'm playing against Dagoth I have to hold on to removal, which you can, even with hit, you don't have to play Dagoth If you just act like you have the threat of Dagoth in your hand, it'll make your opponent want to hold on to removal. There you go. You can play bigger creatures. They'll likely be okay with taking a bit of damage at first, but then they go, okay, I have to start removing his creatures. And then when you think the time is right, bam, throw Dagoth down, either as the finishing kill, or just as a ditch attempt to hold on. It'll guard you. It's got the ward to guard. It'll give you back some extra health when he attacks, and he will get 1 guaranteed attack because of the charge. It's a very powerful card, and I'm happy that this god really shows for it. The animation is even awesome. When you play Dagoth, it feels like you're playing a god card. It is that powerful. I don't know from first-hand experience. Well, actually, I just had a match where I use Berazar's Tinkering, which is the 2 mana intelligence card that you have the choice to betray, but you transform a creature into a creature that costs 1 more. I used it on one of the Daughters of Dathian Fear because I had a Dathian Fear in play, and he was what I got. And I saw that and went, oh wow, surprise Dagoth. This just turned the game around for me because I was about to die. Dagoth came out, changed the game instantly. Well, Dathian Fear kind of also helped with that, but Dagoth Ur was basically tipped the scales into my favor. Alright, then we have our Halahu triple class. 2 Balmora Puppeteer, 2 mana Dark Elf, 2/2, plot, +1/+1 for each other card you've played this turn. Yeah, in order to get the true value of this, you kind of have to play a lot of cards. If you get at least one played, it's good. If you get more, it gets better and better and better. However, sometimes you might not have... If in a top deck mode, you top deck Balmora Puppeteer, it's garbage. It's a garbage card because you can't combo it out with anything else. So, this is one you have to play a little earlier in the game, but if you manage to get that out, and say buff it, even by +1/+1, it becomes a good card. But it's on the backing of others, which is very similar to Haunted Mana. A 3 mana support, ongoing, give the second creature you summon each turn +2/+2. And note, this also counts for your opponent's turn. So if, say, I don't know, there's a vengeful creature that summon... Oh, I know the great card. No wait, it's Endurance. Okay, so say you somehow manage to get a Midnight Patrol or Midnight Sweep, whatever that card is called. You summon 2 Colovian Troopers. The second Colovian Trooper gets +2/+2 because it is each turn. Not your turn, each turn. I'm not sure how often somebody's managed to activate this on their opponent's turn, but it's still very powerful effect because you can play a weak card, then play, say, a weak charge card. Weak charge card upgrades into a whatever the stats were, +2 and 2 extra attack and 2 extra health, and you just keep doing that every turn. And if you combo this with, say, House of Nimura, or not House of Nimura's Shrine, whew, you're now... It rewards you more for playing one more card. So, in addition to +2/+2 from Haunted Manor, you're now drawing an extra card as long as you play one more, and the more Haunted Manors you have, the better your creatures get. This is a very, very powerful card. It doesn't cost a lot at all. I'm happy it's in Oahu. If it was in any other area... Well, I shouldn't say that. If it was... I'd say maybe there's 2 other houses, and if it only had 2 attributes, it would be very, very overpowered. It'd be too powerful and actually would require a nerf if you wanted to bring it out of Halahu and into, say, a class like Redorin, or I'd even say Dagoth too. Or just bring it down to, say, a Battle Mage, or Crusader, Monk. You get the gist of it. Next we have Duke Venom Dren, 5 mana Dark Elf, 4/4. The first time you play a card each turn, draw a random card from your deck with cost equal to your remaining Magicka. Now, I think I played this in a game that I was airing on YouTube, and the effect is not bad. You have to know what cards you have in your deck in order to decide which one you're going to play. So, say turn 6. I think this is the exact example I had. I had a Duke Van Dam Dren out because of Mudcrab Merchant, and I was playing Redorin. Maybe I wasn't playing Redorin because no, wait, my opponent had the Hive Defender. Okay, so I had played... Oh, I know, I remember now. I had the Ring of Magicka. I activated a charge. I played Fabricate, which I knew because playing my Redorin deck, that the 6 mana card that Duke would have drawn is likely going to be a Skyborn Dragon. So I did that, fabricated a card, then played Skyborn Dragon right afterwards, and I was able to kill my opponent's Hive Defender, which was threatening to kill Duke Van Dam Dren because he was a little weak at that point. But if you know what cards you have in your deck and you play with that, this card can be incredibly powerful. However, I don't think... This set hasn't been out for very long, so I'm not sure if many people have caught on how to play with it, how to play with this card. So when we get further down the line, this card will be a little more powerful. But right now, as it is, I think people are going to accidentally misuse it, which is a shame because I think it's a good card. I'm just gonna say this right now. A lot of the triple class cards I'm gonna say are pretty good, except for this one. Veteran 4 mana, 2 mana, Veteran 4 runner, 2 mana, Dark Elf, 1/1, charge, drain, ward. Again, this falls prey to the Ashlander Zealot situation. If you have a situation where you need 1 damage, you deal the 1 damage, great, and you even get to keep the creature. If you don't, if you need something with 2 attack, you better hope you either have an item or you have rallied it a couple times. It's the exact. It falls under the. It falls under. Oh, I'm forgetting the name. Oh, wow. Ashlander Zealot. It falls prey to this. As I said in the very first episode, it's very situational. If you need it for one health damage, okay, you're good to go. If you need it for anything more than that, you better rally or you better equip a weapon to it. Oops. So let us move on. We are now in Redoran territory, by the way. Then we have Bulvian Venom, 3 mana Dark Elf, 3/3 rally. When you rally with no creatures in your hand, first draw him from your deck, and then the rally effect activates on him. I've seen that. You guys have seen this card in play. The stats are good, and if you get a rally off, it's good. It's good too. However, the real value comes from its other effect. And I have a game on the channel where, no joke, against a Dragon Spell Sword who had already played Dragon Mound, I was able to get a very awesome combo out. I Galen the Sheltered this guy. He played him. I then rallied. Well, actually, first I Galen the Sheltered him, and I waited a turn because I needed to wait for my rally creature to attack. My opponent played Odaving. I was scared, but then I realized, wait, it's the Kula Lawkeeper. So she escapes with 2 health left, and the 1 attack with rally, which is so huge. I play Bulvian Venom, and then attack with my rally creature, and draw the other 3 of them out, which are now, may I add, 3 mana 6/6, and one of them becomes a 3 mana 7/7. And then I play all 3 of them, and all you just hear is, I would rather die than see House Redoran and Dishonor just overlapping each other. And it was it was an awesome game, very cool finish. I encourage you guys to go check it out. It is under, I believe, the video called Never Dishonor House Redoran. I'm still trying to figure out how to do links. When I figure it out, I will add a link to that video in the description to show you the combo. But if you get that combination out, this card is amazing. Otherwise, it's an okay card. Then we have Inspiring Kinsman, 4 mana Dark Elf, 2/4, rally 2, last gasp, give a random creature in your hand, +2/+2. So essentially the last gasp is, it guarantees that you get the value down. Guarantees it. And the rally 2 is pretty good. It's the only card in this game to have more than 1 rally without equipping items or giving it another rally via keywords. So it's an alright card. I probably wouldn't recommend running more than 2 of these in your deck, and that might be pushing it, but it's an alright card. Next we have Archcanon Sarioin, and it's a 4 mana Dark Elf, 3/3, summon, choose a blessing from one of the 3 Tribunal Gods, exalt 3, gain all 3 blessings instead. So there are the blessings on the side. Amalexia's Blessing, give a friendly creature drain and divine, or not drain, not Divine Shield. Drain and Guard, Sothasil's Blessing, summon a Spider Worker. Vivek's Blessing, give other friendly creatures +1/+1. If you have more creatures out on the field, it gets even better. It's very, you can, when the summon effect basically is choose your situation. Exalt 3 if you're on turn 7, it's okay, you're set for a number of different situations. It won't give, I don't think it gives him +1/+1, but if you have a couple other creatures out on the field, they'll gain +1/+1. It's a very strong card. Even without it. I think Tribunal, with the exception of well, actually, it got the second best triple class legendary in the game. I still think the best is Dagoth but it's a very, very powerful legendary, usable in just about any scenario you can think of, and if you're at turn 7, you're set for all 3 potential scenarios you could be in. Then we have Temple Patriarch, 7 mana Dark Elf, 5/5, summon, trigger the Exalt of each friendly creature. Very similar to Ulfric's Uprising, except with Exalt. I don't know if this triggers the Exalt, if it's already been exalted. If it does, this card, very powerful. But I'm going to go under the assumption that it doesn't. So you would have to play a bunch of creatures that haven't been exalted, then play Temple Patriarch to exalt all of them. It requires a lot of setup, and your creatures could potentially get removed, so I'm not saying this is a bad card. It's a little bit weaker than the rest of the triple class that we've been seeing. The stats on it is still, it's no pushover, but I just wish, if the effect will also trigger on exalted creatures, it would suddenly be, yeah, this card's good. I can exalt my creatures and then trigger them again. Very similar to the summon effect. Then Power of the Alumsvive, which looks like all 3 gods there. 8 mana action, set each creature's power and health to 1. I've never seen this played. I had it in my hand, and I didn't even want to play it. So, I don't think this is a good card at all. Matter of fact, I think this is the only triple class card that I don't think is good. I don't think it's good enough to play. Which is shocking, because every other card here I've said, this is really good, this is great, this is great. And this one I'm saying, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it. I got it from, I'm not sure what I got it from, and I did not like it. I wish I never had it. Moving on to Telvanni. We have Telvanni Catspaw, 3 mana Dark Elf, 2/2, with a last gasp, draw a card, and the secondary text, if Telvanni Catspaw was sacrificed, draw 2 cards instead. If you can sacrifice this, it gains double the value, which is crazy. Even if you just draw a card, it's still pretty good. It's about there. Oh, I forget. I'm constantly forgetting the names. I know what the card is. It is... Let's see here. Various Courier. So it's a bit of a stats shuffle around, and it doesn't have the guard. So you don't have to worry about it dying. You can't use it to guard against your opponent's creatures, but you can still use it as a... I don't want to go to there. No, please stop. You can use it as another way to get a bit of card draw early on in the game. Obviously, if you sacrifice it through Betrayal or Altar of Despair, it does work for that because you're sacrificing it. It works out. You get at the double value, and depending on what you did, you either get another creature from Altar of Despair, or you get to replay another spell. So if you sacrifice it, it's great. Sun and Shadows, 5 mana Argonian for 6, summon, permanently shackle another friendly creature to draw an action of your choice from your deck. initially I thought, this is bad. Why would I want to shackle one of my own creatures? And then I remembered, oh wait, there's Dress Renegade in this game. And it's intelligence. Okay. Alright, so I could have Sun and Shadows shackle a creature. However, Dress Renegade would immediately strip the shackle off. So it'd be free to use. Not bad combination. And then you choose an action of your choice. Depending on what you pick, well, you can pick anything. Anything from your deck. It's a bit of a weaker Laneth with a bad drawback. Although if you're planning, if it's say on a Vardvark, a Sweet Roll, or a card you're going to sacrifice to a Betray card anyways, it's not bad. So, yeah. I think it's an okay card. It's an okay card. Lastly, we have Dathian's Experiments. Another nice animation. Beautiful, the way the lightning's just crackling around. Dathian's Experiments. 9 mana action, Betray, summon a copy of a friendly creature. Very situational. I also had a game where somebody used this on a Fighters Guild recruit. You know, that's the one, not a steward. And he was able to hold off an attack for 1 turn while it didn't really work out for him. It wasn't a great target for him to pick, but if you say use this to pick something such as Dathian Fear himself, now you have a second one on the field. You got both of them producing Daughters of Fear and 12 damage at the start of your turn. Suddenly this is really good. You Betray, you summon another copy of it. Alright. Yeah, so this card is as powerful as the creature that you summon, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. If you summon a powerful creature, this is a powerful card. If you summon a weak creature, it's a weak card. This is one of the very few in the game where its power level is determined on what you use it on. So, yeah. Let us go. I'm going to go to the triple class, and I decided to choose 5 of them because I really couldn't choose. I couldn't choose just one, or I couldn't choose just 3. I was looking through this and go, I could choose 5. Now I think the way I did, yeah. So the way I did this, no. So just gonna say right now, Telvanni is not on this list. Unfortunately, despite the cards being really cool, I don't think they're as powerful as what I'm going to mention. I'm gonna first do my honorable mention and go on my Redoran boy, Bolvian Veman. Again, it's not because of his stats or his rally effect, but it's because of the insane combination you can do. It always guarantees that you'll have a creature whenever you rally, and if you combo it out with cards like Galen or what's another one? Oh, I can't use Dark Rebirth. Oh, what's another one that I could combo this out with? I'm drawing a bit of a blank on what else I could come. Oh, Journey to Sovngarde. There you go. You Journey to Sovngarde and you have a few copies of this in your deck. Solitaire too. No, that doesn't work that way. But you just get more copies of this in your deck somehow. You rally you attack once with a rally creature. Now you got a bunch of them in your hand. One of them gets the +1/+1, and then you summon them all at once, make it a very overwhelming legendary. So it's on the honorable. I don't think the effect. It's hard to pull off the effect, which is why it's on the honorable mentions list. But the effect is still one of the coolest effects I've seen in the game. So number 5 is going to be Archcanon in Sarioni, and again, it's because he's very versatile. Very versatile, and if you get 7, you can have all 3 effects activating at once. However, Um, Despite I'm saying he's a very powerful, one of the best legendaries. Would not put him much higher than 5, just because the rest of the cards on here can make him look pretty bad. Not to mention, you can also underestimate and accidentally pick the wrong situation, which therefore gives you a very huge disadvantage. So, number 4 seems to be a bit of a theme, with the exception of willpower. But of course, the god himself is on the list, Dagoth just because he's incredibly powerful, and even just playing a Dagoth deck, your opponent has in the back of his mind, I gotta deal with Dagoth at some point. And if I'm not prepared, he's gonna crush me. You don't even have to play this card to kind of put a little fear into your opponent very early on. Number 3 is Ascended Sleeper. Again, very good stats for his cost. He's a big guard, comes out, defends your board, and if you have a creature with 5 or more power, you can get a huge reduction cost. If you can get at least, I'd say, 3 creatures reduced, he has made his value up very quickly. You get more than 3, you're solid. You get 2 or less. The effect wasn't really worth triggering, but it still could help you in the long run. Number 2, we are going to the Oathman of Halahu. Believe it or not. Like I said, if you get both effects activated, this is the best Oathman in the game. Comes out for free, a free plot mechanic. You draw a card, potentially setting yourself up for another plot next turn, or you can even use it to set up Puppeteer. You play this and then a Puppeteer, or play this, a 1 cost, then the Puppeteer. Puppeteer's now 4/4, and all because you had Halahu, and if it was Haunted Manor you triggered this with, Haunted Manor, well, it depends on what the 1 cost was. If the 1 cost is a creature, then it activates on the creature, but if it's not, activates on the Balmora Puppeteer Master, and now the Puppeteer Master has an extra 2/2. Very powerful card. All House Halahu decks should run all 3 copies of them, and trigger them as best they can. It's very easy to trigger that agility. A little bit harder the strength, but it's very possible to trigger the strength, but very, very easy card to trigger both effects, and very powerful when you do. And then the last one, of course, is the card you will likely combo that out with, Haunted Manor. Very powerful support. If you play only 2 creatures a turn, you get the effect from this. If you have multiple Haunted Manors, you're giving your creature either 2, 4, or 6 extra attack and health, and that could mean the difference that could mean that you could kill your opponent very quickly. You get all 3 of these on turn 1. Say you have the ring. Turn 2, ring it out. Turn 3, play another one. Turn 4, play this. Turn 5, say you play a 2 cost, Nord Firebrand, hit face, or... Actually, no, yeah, you kind of have to do that. Next, turn 6, you play a 3 cost. No, wait, hold on. We'll start with, you play Raiding Party. You play a card that gives you something extra that costs 3 or less. You play a Nord Firebrand Warrior, another 7/7, hit face. Very powerful, especially when you combo them out. You have all 3 of them on the field. This is a very powerful card, and it's a huge target depending on removal. So if your opponent uses like one of their few precious support removals and gets rid of this, it's made its value. You forced your opponent to use a support removal, and if you have more of these in your deck or other very powerful supports, you just play those as well. Now that's 1 less that you have to worry about that, and 1 more support, or not 1 more support. I don't know where I'm going with the rest of this thought, but it's just a very powerful card. But that will be everything for this card review. Well, at least for the triple class cards and all the Oathman that came from each of the attributes. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you really enjoyed. Don't forget to share this video or any of my other videos to anybody who you think will enjoy my content. Later today, I will be releasing the neutral set. There's not that many neutrals, so I will be able to talk further into detail on that. And why I think neutrals got some of the, well, not some of the worst, but they got the amount of neutral cards that got added in was a very, in my opinion, a little undercut. They undercut neutrals this time around. But that's a discussion for the next video. Till then, guys, take it easy.